All right, sports fans, it is December 25th. Merry Christmas to all of you. I'm walking in to a spot that I scouted about a week ago and actually saw two different bucks. There's a weed field to the south of a cornfield. It's pretty far away. It's about 800 yards south of this cornfield, and a big block of timber separates this overgrown wheat field and the cornfield. And believe it or not, the deer, since they've been pressured all season, aren't really exiting that bedding area until, last light, and not making it very far. When I was scouting a week ago, I found a massive rub, one of the biggest I've ever seen, and a scrape that hadn't been pawed out. There were fresh tracks in it, telling me that deer are probably still working that licking branch. So, I've got a south wind right now. It's supposed to shift to a west wind, which I can work with. And what I'm gonna do is just scout my way into that block of timber. I want to end up somewhere around that rub and that scrape and the trails that lead out of the wheat field towards that. I want to end up somewhere there, but I'm still just going to be picking my way along, scouting. You never know when you're scouting your way in, you find a good spot for next time, maybe I even find something better. So that's the game plan today. Gonna sit till dark. Those bucks that I saw came out, I guess about 45 minutes before the end of legal, and made it about 100 yards out of that wheat field. So, like I said, we'll see what we find, but I'd like to end up somewhere around there. Wish me luck. You might not be able to see it, but there's the rub. The huge rub that I found the other day. And just 20 to 30 yards past it is where that scrape is. Now I was thinking about trying to set up on the other side of them, closer to the bedding. But what I found here is there's a really good trail leading what looks like from there up to this little ridge line right here. I call it a ridge, but it's just a slight raise in the terrain that leads out that way. And there's some decent tracks and trails on it. Considering that, the fact that those does were bedded right over there, and the fact that the wind's shifting around a little bit, I don't want to get too close in there and bugger this hunt before it starts if I haven't already. That tree right there, I can get pretty high up in. It's got multiple trunks, which is good this time of year. Alright, it's about 1440. Having some trouble with this stupid GoPro. But I'm set up in a spot here. That big rub is just in front of me, behind the camera right now, at 30 yards. I can see a scrape off to the right of it that there were fresh tracks in. Last week when I scouted, there's also a scrape right down here, and I'm talking late season scrapes right now, guys, so there's tracks in them and a couple of leaves covered out, and a licking branch. There's one old one right here, and I know it's hard to see on this camera. There's another one over there, so there's 3 scrapes right here. There's a scrape over there about 45 yards away, and then there's the monster rub at 30 yards away right there. I took my time getting set up real slow, and now it's just a waiting game. I think we're gonna have a good evening. There's a doe right here at about 50 yards. about 20 minutes to closing time. Got a doe down right there. You can see her kicking. She probably ran about 40 yards. Probably have about 15 more minutes of legal. We'll see if those bucks decide to come this way. Its headshot was right at 23 yards, I'm guessing. Good deal. We got a doe down. Alright guys, we're at the base of the tree. I'm gonna go over here and find my arrow, and then I just half draw lobbed a judo at that other doe just to get her to go away. And it worked. She ran away. So I gotta go find those 2 arrows, and then even though we saw her fall, we'll probably follow this blood trail. So let's get to it. As Ted Nugent would say, where have we seen this before? The old mystical flight of the arrow. Good spray right there too. Some pretty good spray. This baby is soaked through with blood. The old cutthroat single bevel did its job. Not a ton of blood with the old cutthroat, but it appears to have done the job. Oh, and I think I know why. Yeah, it looks like it came out the liver. It's funny, arrow didn't smell like liver. Yeah, kind of a low back exit. Right through the old liver. She was quartering 2. Oh shoot. Is this a button buck? What the heck is that? Oh man, it is. It's a button buck. Dang. Look at that. I thought it was a doe. See this exit right here. It's actually a little farther back than I thought it was gonna be. Let's see what's on the other side. Dang, it's a good size button buck. I feel bad. Could have sworn it was a doe. Let's see what this entrance looks like. Yep, right here. It's quartering to me pretty good. So, sliced right in there high. There's the slice. Did get a good U-shaped cut right there. And then ended up coming out a little low and back, but I must have double lunged him. Cool. Well, alright guys, it was a fun hunt. The theory played out correct. We believed that these deer were bedding in this tangled
CRP, I guess you could call it, weed field. It's got some scattered oaks in it, and making their way from here 700 to 800 yards out to the corn. So right there, I guess about 20 minutes before end of legal, this, what I thought was a doe, worked in there, and I shot this button buck at 20 yards, entered high and forward right there. It was quartering to me, and then exited through the liver on the other side. And good penetration. I mean, broadhead buried into the ground. I'm shooting those RMS cutthroats, single bevel, 250 grains, 100 grain brass insert, and then I've got a 25 grain aluminum adapter, so like 375 grains up front, which is plenty. And I'm shooting a 64 pound bow. So good hunt. Looked like it was feeding on just browse as it was working towards me. I heard, before this one showed up, I heard two bucks fighting. I could hear their antlers clacking, and I could hear a couple grunts. So I'm not sure where those guys went. They came from the same direction that sound came from the same direction that this button buck came from. So good hunt. It was fun. After that, 2 does worked out, and I had to spook them off with the judo point so I could climb out of the stand. I just don't want them seeing me climbing down and then busting from that. So better just a sharp sound in the leaves that makes them run away, instead of, you know, me climbing down. Now they know where I'm hunting at. So anyway, this is a dang good sized button buck. So it's gonna eat good. That was kind of the goal. Get some meat. I think this spot, I'm gonna give it a break for a little while, but it's got a lot of potential, especially it sounded like 2 racked bucks were fighting. So I'm gonna, you know, in maybe another week or so, head back in here and just get a little bit deeper. Hopefully the weather cooperates. Today we had that 10 to 15 degree temp drop, which helped get these things on their feet a little faster. But I think I need a little more severe weather for this late season to get them moving a little bit quicker. And I think I'm gonna work my way just a little bit closer to where I heard those bucks fighting, and closer to that bedding area. But thanks for joining me. I'm gonna get this thing gutted and start the long way out of here. I wish I had brought my game bags today. I did not, and I don't want to get all my clothes and my pack all bloody without those game bags. So I think it's going to be the drag for this one. So I've got about a 1.5 mile drag. Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody.